Okay, welcome into Pokemon. I have some ideas about what I want to do with this team. Uh, Mainly it's these four here. Thinking about the final battle, Steelix can handle uh, one, Machamp can handle a couple, uh, Magneton can handle a couple, and Dodrio can handle one. So I have, I think, what I need um, to give Steelix the best chance, and it doesn't, for some reason, does not learn Earthquake through level up. I will teach Earthquake to Steelix. That's going to be its best move. I will get rid of Rock Tomb because it's less accurate than Rock Throw, and it doesn't matter how much I slow the enemy down, I'll still be slower. In addition, to make uh, to make Machamp as useful as possible, I'm going to teach it Rock Slide. 90% accurate, but quite powerful. And I'm kind of thinking get rid of Cross Chop. Eh, I'm gonna get rid of Vital Throw because it always hits, but it's decreased priority. So I'm gonna get rid of Vital Throw. Ideally, I will still be able to get Brick Break, but I just don't know. Honestly, the reason I'm streaming Pokemon today, I'd rather be playing Skyrim, or the new game that I just got that I'm going to stream soon. But I've been neglecting to actually play this game and work on leveling up my Pokemon. So I figured I should just go ahead and stream it today and hopefully, you know, get some stuff done. So I'm not going to use. I'm happy that I got the Rhyhorn, and Thunderfang is an interesting move for it to have, but it's not going to be one of the Pokemon I use. So I'm going to remove it from my party. And if I use a fifth Pokemon, it will be Xatu. But Xatu doesn't learn Psychic until level 59, so it's not very good right now. Do I have any additional vitamins with me currently? I have some HP ups. And I have a couple irons. Lots of protein. So I'll just give the iron to Steelix. Its base defense is already monstrous, but I don't know what I would what else I would give the iron to. Special attack. Make sure that I can't do any more to. Uh, since I can't do any more to Magneton, I'll give it to Xatu. And as far as protein goes, I cannot give it to Muscle. I cannot give it to Dodrio. Yeah. So I will give as many as I can to Rusty. Make sure that its Earthquake kills everything. I'm not going to worry about fully EV training these Pokemon. I just want to get them, on the way to good stats. Alright, so with that being said, I need to give the experience share to Steelix. I actually have two. What happens if I give one to Paul as well? And Magneton is lagging behind a little bit. So I have left a bunch of trainers behind. Today's Tuesday. I don't know if I'm actually going to rematch any gym leaders, but there are a couple that I can get today. I don't know if it's just day or day and time for Morty. I know Monday and Tuesday is when he's at the trail. But it's just past 2 p.m., so local time, so I don't know if he's actually back here. If I were on my DS, I would just change the clock to get everyone, but uh, as far as there may be an option for it somewhere in RetroArch to uh, make it so that the time in the game is not synced to your computer time, but I don't know where that option would be, and I don't want to try and change my computer clock. As far as I'm aware, the only ones that are specifically available on Tuesday, they're not available on other days, is Blaine and Morty. Blaine is only on Tuesday. He hangs out at Cinnabar Island all day. Whoa, hey. Alright, so a lot of the trainers that I left to be battled in the future are on the route south of Lavender. But I'm going to check over here real quick as well. Okay, I did get them all. I know I battled some of them, but I don't think I battled all of them, so. I think I battled them up to a certain point, and then uh, only battled ones that were required after that, and I saved these trainers specifically so that I could level up Steelix mostly. Uh, the first thing I find is a Quagsire. If it weren't using Amnesia, I could possibly take it out with Minded Shot, but as it is, no. Let's switch into a Pokemon that attacks with physical moves, and if it had used something like Earthquake, I would have been immune, but it decided to put me to sleep instead. I will switch back into uh, Magneton since Quillfish is water poison. I can hit it with a discharge. Magneton also does not learn Thunderbolt by level, but I believe that with its special attack where it is, uh, discharge will be acceptable. Tentacruel has good special defense, but it still won't be able to stand up to Magneton. Can I use the blue flute outside of battle? Does it have to be? I cannot use it outside the battle. Shame I don't have just a straight up awakening. I don't know if I'll need Dodrio at any point while doing these routes. Especially since I don't think anyone else has a Quagsire. But bus. Male Gale as a Pharaoh. And a Spearow. Why do you have a Spearow that comes out after your Fearow? Oh, I still have the choice specs equipped. How foolish of me. I should fix that. The choice specs was a reasonable option when I was in the Battle Frontier trying to get some battle points, but when I'm just battling random trainers, I really don't need something like that. I'll throw on the magnet instead. I'll delete that message. I don't know if I actually picked it up off screen, but actually I think I showed myself picking it up. Uh, Twisted Spoon is the Tuesday day of the week sibling item. I am dropping every frame today. It's annoying. Hello Gyarados, I will hit you with Charge Beam. I think it's actually, according to my taskbar, I only have 2 of the Wi-Fi signals. But I don't feel like reselling it right now. I mean, if I were doing anything besides just training, then yeah, I would stop the stream and try and fix it, but this is not terribly important what I'm doing right now. I do have Sandshrew with me, so I can get this item, whatever it is. A Calcium. That's more special attack. And the only special attacker I have on this team who doesn't already have good special attack is Paul. Yes, I could, if I don't want to get Exatu all the way to level 59 before it's useful, I do have the TM for Psychic, but I'm just going to use Mirror Shot because even though water types resist steel, it's still a Magikarp. In fact, I shouldn't even be using uh, Magneton for the Magikarp. I should switch into the Pokemon that need that paltry amount of experience more. Magic Arp outspeeds Steelix. And I'm such a low level that a headbutt did not take out Magikarp. Let's go overboard. Earthquake. Swallow it up. The guy with 6 Magikarp, as he is known in rematches. Hello, Gina. Do you have a leaf stone for me? Yeah, she just wants to battle me. I should answer those phone calls when I get them because, since well, I guess it depends on how many times I battled them in the past, what team they would have. But since I've beaten Blue, it is possible for them to have their strongest team. And those would be levels close to on par with mine. Sandstorm is a fun move. I'll get rid of Screech for it. Screech misses a lot. I could see Sandstorm being useful when I battle Red, actually. Since the Pokemon I would lead with to counter his Pikachu would be Steelix. If I use Sandstorm, I could get rid of the hail effect. And depending on what order I send my Pokemon in, uh, it's possible that the next thing that came out would also resist the sand. Now, I don't get the special defense boost from Sandstorm with Steelix because it's one of its types is not rock, it's ground steel, but at least don't take damage from a Sandstorm. Discharge is everything, right? Yes. So I'm actually going to use Charge Beam on Psyduck and just hit Kadabra with a Drill Peck. It's a physical move, so Kadabra will go down. I have some concerns about how Discharge would affect Dodrio. Probably not well. Not a favorable outcome. I am a little bit tired today. I made tea this morning, and while I was doing that, I cleaned up the kitchen because I'm supposed to be making dinner tonight. And if I did not clean the kitchen now, then uh, in several hours when it's time for me to actually make dinner, I would look at the kitchen and be like, you know what, never mind. And then I would order dinner, and I'd rather cook if when possible. But the kitchen was very messy, so it took me a while to get it to the level where I don't feel like I need to do any more cleaning when I cook tonight. I might unload the dishwasher while I'm waiting on parts of the dinner to cook, but the one pan that I actually cooked the dinner in was already clean, and there are, plates and forks and everything in the dishwasher right now. So those will be clean by the time I'm starting. But for now, I have plenty of time to stream. My plan would be starting dinner in about 5 hours from now, so no concern. Sand Slash is a ground type, but its special defense is not very good, and it's kind of low leveled, so. Because Graveler is part rock type, it's actually weak to Mirror Shot. And the same is true of Golem. Figured I was going to miss one at some point. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't have a ground move to use on me. Well, they would at least know magnitude or something. When I'm playing on my own, when I register phone numbers, I usually go into the Pokegear and sort them based on what day and time I can battle them. So that if it's, Monday morning, I know that the name near the top of the list is who I would be able to battle. But since I'm not worried about rematching trainers too much for this playthrough, I haven't bothered to sort them. I'll just use Charge Beam again. Crazy thing is, if I'm only going to battle the Pikachu with Steelix, it doesn't actually need to be all that high a level. Pikachu's main attacking moves are electric type, which means Steelix is completely immune to them. And its non-electric type move is Quick Attack, which, of course, Steelix also resists. So, Steelix is essentially the absolute perfect counter to Red's Pikachu, which is why I wanted to make sure I get it, because, being able to counter one of his highest level Pokemon is useful. I tried to use Mirror Shot because I knew that Bulbasaur resists electric moves, but whatever. They all missed. Yeah, the only downside to training like this is that Magneton does not have a lot of PP on its attacking moves. Uh, Mirror Shot and Charge Beam only have 10 each, Discharge only has 15, so if you're going to battle several routes worth of trainers, you're going to be running low. Yes, I know Fly. So there's 4 trainers up here, one will be a double battle. So I should make sure I still have some charge beams available for that. so I'm not frying Dodrio. Actually, actually, what I will do is I will make the other Pokemon Steelix. And then when I use Discharge, it will damage their Pokemon and not Steelix. And it'll get a little bit more experience this way as well. Unless one of their Pokemon like drops a Sacred Fire or something. I was not expecting the Sand Slash. And I should not use Earthquake because that would absolutely fry. Uh, well, now, it wouldn't matter. It is 4 times effective, but the disparity in our levels, it wouldn't matter. I think I should use Earthquake because otherwise I'm just not going to do much damage. I got a critical hit on the Roselia at least. Slam is awful. Slam misses all the time. Headbutt is better in every way that I can think of. So I'm going to use Earthquake. It's going to do big damage to Magneton. It's going to do some damage to Sandslash. That is just not enough. Okay, I need to switch into anything that can do more damage. It has Arena Trap, which means I cannot switch. No, that's not even the problem. The problem is Magneton. It has Magnet Pull, which prevents my 2 Steel types from escaping. Well, that's annoying. There's nothing I can do to Sandslash. Uh, hang on. HP and PP restore. I don't have any Lepa berries. I have 6 ethers. I never thought I would actually do this. Use an ether in battle. And then it gets a crit anyway. Watch, I'll miss and still fail to take it out. Okay. I almost never use my PP restoring items, and I just used one in battle. Psycho Shift transfers its status problems to the target. It has no direct damage dealing moves right now. Exactly 0 of them. I will not take Psycho Shift. We got a gold bat. Alright. Discharge it. Gosh, that was awful. Hello, Clarice. You didn't say please. You don't deserve my phone number. Maybe a little lemonade. do not actually pour lemonade onto metal, but hello, Beauty. How do you do, Beauty? Wow, I do not remember the last time I saw that person on Steam. Usually I close Steam when I'm uh, streaming Pokemon, though. I should probably do that. Exit. Alright. I don't think having Steam open had any effect on my stream strength, but you the fairies from the moon, if you believe the anime. Or outer space, at least. Pokefan Eleanor. You sucker punch. Limousine? And Magneton will go to 63. It's a lot of defense. And Steelix getting everything except for speed. Steelix's speed is almost as bad as Onix's attack. I'm so glad I'm not wasting experience on Onix anymore. And I'll be completely honest, the experience going on Exatium may also be a waste, but I guess we'll see. I'm wondering, the goal of this challenge is to beat Red, but I'm wondering if I should try and do the second round of the Elite Four as well. There are challenges with that do not exist for uh, Red. To start off, Will's Bronzong, the very first Pokemon of the round. I never know whether it has Heat Proof or Levitate. Bronzong can have either of those abilities to cover its weaknesses, and I never know which that Bronzong has. I think it's Heat Proof, but I'm not entirely certain. If it is Heat Proof, then I could use Steelix and hit it with an Earthquake, but of course if it has Levitate, then I'm wasting a turn if I do that. I had floated the idea of potentially using Sandstorm with Steelix at the beginning of the fight with Red. Another option that I'm considering is Stealth Rock. That deals damage to Pokemon when they uh, switch in, and it is affected by their typings. So a Pokemon that is weak to Rock, for example, Lapras's Ice type makes it weak to Rock, so it take 25% damage. A Pokemon that is 4 times weak to Rock, say, Red's Charizard, would take half of its health immediately upon coming in, which means that any Pokemon that I have that could outspeed and deal a strong hit would finish it off. Here comes Magneton. I am going to give Steelix a chance to be the one to fight it. Now, we know his Voltorb had Magnet Rise. Hopefully, Magneton doesn't. You did a whole 6 with Magnet Bomb. I'm 13 levels lower than you. I don't know if the crit mattered for the one shot, but it wasn't going to take me out anyway. Well, let's have him take out the Magnemite too. I'm already in. Did about half as much as Magneton did, which is what you would expect. After my break today, I may switch to Skyrim if I feel like I've done a adequate amount of training. Because I am itching to play it. I almost played last night, even though I had streamed it earlier in the day. But I decided to occupy my time with other things. I dropped 330,000 frames. And apparently my internet signal is only getting worse. But my bitrate is high, it's just the signal strength that is causing things to drop. Oh, that is horrible. I'm a professional answering a text during the stream. So my mom is at her shop downtown right now, and because of all the road work down there, she told me that she didn't think she was going to have any customers this week. And she opens at noon. It is currently 2:43, and she just texted me that she finally made her first cup of coffee just now. Which means that maybe she was busy, but you don't want to be at work for more than 2.5 hours and not have had a chance to have a cup of coffee yet. I don't like coffee personally, but I know that many people uh, don't feel like their day has started until they've had their first cup of coffee. Alright. One last Pokemon on this team. Yeah, the whole evolutionary line. Alright, so that is all the trainers on these routes. There are still trainers in the water that I could battle, particularly between Pallet and Cinnabar. I'm going to do a quick test though. I'm going to heal, save, go into the Elite Four, and figure out whether Will's Bronzong has Levitate or Heat Proof. I will not be battling my rival because it is not Monday or Wednesday, so I can go up there without worrying about running into him. Though I should be taking advantage of that experience. So, since I don't intend to make like progress in the game today, I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna be going and beating Red right now. My levels are not there yet. Well, at least Steelix's level is not there yet. Part of me wants to see if I can, but I put in the description that I wasn't. I put in my notification on Facebook, Twitter, and Blue Sky that I wasn't going to be doing anything. That I wasn't going to be making progress. So if I went up there and somehow managed to actually win, I would feel pretty bad about. It would be kind of the similar situation to what I had at the end of the Elite Four, where I was training against them. I didn't think I was going to win, and then I did. Ooh. Ooh. That is a good day. Pirate, Kansas. Okay, so I'm gonna try and use Earthquake. He's gonna use Reflect. Okay. Uh, with the Reflect and the level disparity, yes, we didn't do much damage, but at least now we know that it has Levitate, or that it has Heat Proof. So I'm just gonna, battle and lose. If I was doing no damage to it, then I probably would have just reset, but oops, I hit whatever keystroke combination asked me to set up Copilot, and I said no. I do not use AI, at least not often. Apparently Machamp is faster than Bronzong. I mean, I am level 11 levels higher. Will's about to heal, more than likely. Let's see if I can get a cross chop off. They're both neutral because, while Dark is super effective against Dark is super effective against Psychic, but resisted by Steel. For the fighting move, super effective against Steel, but resisted by Psychic. So they're all neutral. I took out one Pokemon, and Paul is getting levels. Grumpig is pure Psychic. Will actually has some of those now. And Grumpig is faster than Machamp, so I don't think that crit mattered. I already had a special defense drop. Let's try Doris. Actually, I think Return is stronger now. For non-super effective moves. Power Gem is a special rock move. Not a lot of Pokemon learn Power Gem. One interesting one is Starmie. I usually don't have it actually learn it because there are other moves I'd rather it know, but Jinx is not very physically defensive, but I do not like my chances of... I'm afraid that I'm going to hit myself in confusion. Mirror Shot should be super effective, right? It's part Ice type. Yes. So it misses the first Lovely Kiss, and then when it goes for it again on the next turn, it actually hits after I drop the accuracy. It wants to use Lovely Kiss because its attacking move is Dream Eater. So basically what's happening right now is she's going to keep using Lovely Kiss. If it hits, then I go to sleep. I'm waiting for a miss and a hit with Mirror Shot. If she does put me to sleep, then I just wake myself up with the Blue Flute. So we know 3 of her moves. We don't know if she can actually deal damage when you're awake. Gardevoir is another pure Psychic type. I'm going to use the Sandshrew to pivot because I'm trying to remember what else Will has. He has 3 Pokemon remaining, and I think there's still Executor and Exatu waiting to come in, which is bad. I am less afraid of... Oh goodness, I did not expect the Focus Blast. I am less afraid of Exatu than I am of Executor. I knew the Focus Blast hit, I was going down. My team is not very well equipped to deal with Psychic types, unfortunately. I don't see him sending Executor in next. I suppose it could be Slowbro. I actually don't know. It is Slowbro. Why are you so slow, bro? Return does about half, but Psychic will finish me off. And I do not expect Paul to be able to do much of anything to Slowbro. I mean, I can outspeed it, certainly, but the only way I can actually... I could have actually potentially dealt damage to it would have been through a Confused Ray. Eh, let's bring Magneton back. Why not? I will at least uh, assure that I defeat the Slowbro. I survived with 1 HP. Uh, I'll use Wish. That might give Magneton some health for whatever comes in last. We take out Slowbro. And I think it's Exate last, but we'll see. All's wish came true, so I'm back at full health for Exatu. These psychics don't give up even when we're down to the last Pokemon. I got confused, but this charge will probably take it out or come very close. So we defeated Will with some healing in the process. I don't have a lot of revives, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to revive Steelix specifically, so that if Magneton does manage to defeat any of Koga's Pokemon, it will get some experience. I believe the first Pokemon is Skuntank. I haven't done the Elite Four rematches in a while. It has Dig. And is faster than me, so... I survived the Dig. I survived one Dig. It was paralyzed, that's good news. That means I moved first. And Steelix is in fact getting a move. Rock Polish would raise his speed by 2 stages. I don't really feel the need to set up in that way. If I gave Steelix a setup move, it would be Curse. Toxicroak is paralyzed. I survived the X-Scissor. What is happening? I could have healed all of my Pokemon fully and had a pretty reasonable assumption that I was going to win this battle. Instead, I'm just surviving everything. There. Magneton. Magneton fainted, and to add insult to injury, the Venomoth gets all its stats boosted. All jokes about Venomoth's typing aside, it is in fact weak to Earthquake because it's bug poison, but that level difference already having a stat boost, yeah. I lost a little bit more money than I earned from defeating Will, but that was to be expected. So I said before going in, fully prepared to potentially reset immediately, but then I beat Will. So yeah. No, I need to go to Viridian City. Because there's no way to switch out what Pokemon are in your party when you're in Pallet Town. And if I'm going to surf and battle more trainers, I need a Pokemon that knows surf. None of the in-game trade Pokemon are capable of learning surf. I mean, Pikachu has learned surf in the past, but that's a specific Pikachu, not just any. You can't just take any Pikachu and teach it surf. Pikachu has known lots of HMs over the years. It's known surf, it's known fly. When Flash was an HM, of course, it could learn that. I think everything can learn defog, but I'm not sure. It's possible that they rationalized that its electricity could uh, guide you through a fog or something. I don't know. I wonder if I'm going to drop 1,000,000 frames today. I'm at 500,000. I think it's more likely that I end the stream or it actually completely cuts out than it is that I would actually reach 1,000,000. Alright, I will use Repel because I don't want to run into wild Pokemon. Mostly more water types because it's a surfing route, of course. I'll use my charge beams before I use any of my discharges. There are no double battles on this route, so I don't need to worry about that. I'll use a move that might miss first. Swimmer, female Nucky. Shelter's special defense is garbage, so it really doesn't matter what move I use. I could use Mirror Shot on the dual types, the ones that are part ice, since it would at least be neutral against them, rather than resisted. It's probably things like Stardust and Star Pieces are the only items I would find here, but that doesn't mean I'm going to completely ignore the dowsing machine. Is there anything on this island at all? No. The dowsing machine in Gen 4 is not my favorite version of dowsing, but it's pretty good. I like the one, I think it's X and Y that you just hold out in front of you, and it shows you the direction to go. Still better than like Generation 1 item finder. There might be an item nearby. It's basically what it says. In Generation 3, Fire Red and Leaf Green, there were a few items that you could only get if you used the item finder on a specific tile. Like to get the leftovers, you had to use the item finder on one of the spots where Snorlax had been sleeping. If you use it anywhere else, you can't just push A on the spot. You actually have to use the item finder to get it. But you also had to catch, I think, 30 Pokemon to even get the item finder. So if you're doing a speed run or a challenge run, you might not be getting the item finder and therefore the leftovers in a playthrough, because there's not a lot of challenge runs where you get up to 30 Pokemon in the Pokedex. Corsola is part rock type, yeah? If that's the case, I could use Mirror Shot here and still do neutral damage. My Mirror Shot missed. Her Rock Blast missed. There are a lot of places in the game where the gender of a trainer's Pokemon matches the trainer. But this guy has female Corsola. It might be more like the gym leaders, where that's something that happens. Oh no, Bubbles. I mean, at least it's Bubble Beam instead of just Bubble. Fisherman Murphy. I would have a suspicion that he would characterize that battle as Murphy's Law. Nothing went right for him. Zumro was very popular in Gen 4 Wi-Fi battles. It's one of those Pokemon that with the right IVs and investment, it can have 404 total HP. And then if you use Substitute, the Substitute has 101. So someone using something like Seismic Toss would not break it. Of course, the Pokemon that use Seismic Toss was most of that things like Blissey. Blissey got completely sidelined in Generation 5 because they introduced the Eviolite held item, which doubles defense and special defense if a Pokemon is not fully evolved. And Blissey has just marginally more health than Chansey, so a few points of health or double defenses, yeah, everyone switched to using Chansey. Now, if you wanted a Pokemon that was stealing like 100 health every turn with leftovers, then yeah, you would use Blissey, but yeah, most people just stuck Eviolite and Chansey, and if you need to do damage, use Seismic Toss. Because it was going, the guaranteed 100 was more than it was going to do with any other move. Way back in the early days when I was first playing Pokemon, uh, there was a rumor that the longer you waited to evolve a Pokemon, the stronger it would be in the long run. So I would have like Charmander at level 50, still not having evolved even once. That is of course not true. The only the only thing that can somewhat make them stronger is that they would learn stronger moves earlier. So, you know, you might learn Flamethrower earlier and then you evolve and have the stronger move, but you'll still learn it eventually. So The only reason to not evolve a Pokemon is if they learn a move at a prior evolution that they would not have learned. Uh, that they would not learn once they evolve. But that's a relatively rare phenomenon. Actually, that used to be the case for Spearow. It learned. Do I want Dragon Breath? If I'm probably not actually going to take the time to set up a Sandstorm. I'm more likely to use Sandstorm than Dragon Breath. And yeah, as I was saying, in Generation 3, Spearow learned Aerial Ace at level 25, but it evolves into Fearow at level 20. But for whatever reason, in Generation 3, Fearow did not learn Aerial Ace through level up, so you don't get that reasonably powerful fighting or flying type move that never misses. In Generation 4, it was changed. Spearow then learned Aerial Ace at level 17, so it learns it before it would have evolved anyway. So what was already a pretty good flying type got even better in Generation 4. Lantern has a Volt Absorb, so I cannot use electric type moves unless I want to heal it. And Lantern has pretty good. Lantern is fairly bulky as well. So I'm going to switch out so I can do at least not at least normal effective damage. I was not expecting to discharge that turn. I didn't think it was going to use just discharge on Magneton. But return was enough to finish it off. Mantine is a water flying type, so I see why it wanted to switch out. Uh, that is a easy target for an electric move. Mantine is HeartGold exclusive. You cannot get it in Soul Silver. So since I do more challenge runs in Soul Silver, I haven't used Mantine like ever. I would not be opposed to doing so. I assume I will do a water type run eventually. Maybe I'll throw a Mantine on my team for at least part of it. I think I know what my first mono type run will be, but there's another thing I want to do after the in-game trades one before I do a mono type run. I already have the next challenge planned. I think I will enjoy it a heck of a lot more than this one because I actually get to use some of my favorite Pokemon in that one. Though there was some consideration to doing a water type run as my first one because water is the most common type in the game, so it would give me the most flexibility to play around. And one of the advantages to uh, doing water, fire, or grass is, of course, your starter is that level, so you don't have to try and uh, you don't have to randomize it or uh, just see how early you can get a Pokemon of that type. Meanwhile, you can do a type like, oh, say I've done a Dragon type run. I had to use, uh, I was doing it on Soul Silver, but I used my Heart Gold cartridge to trade over eggs because no, I've had that same Heart Gold file since the day Heart Gold released in the US. So no, all of the timings for the Safari Zone, I got those years and years and years ago. The good news about possibly using only five Pokemon on my team for Red is that I don't have to figure out which of my team members would have to learn Rock Climb to get me uh, up to Red. I can just bring Sandshrew. While I'm standing on this patch of land and am curious about it, I want to see if any of my actual team members that I'm currently learning even can learn Rock Climb. I think Steelix probably can, and I wouldn't be surprised if Machamp could as well. Future Sight at least does damage. Uh, I'll get rid of Miracle Eye because the people I'm going to be battling from here on, not a lot of them raise their evasiveness, and more importantly, if I'm fighting a dark type, I'm not going to be trying to use Exatu's psychic moves on it. I'm going to be probably using Machamp. Oh, was Weber the reason my stream strength was horrible? It just told me that the scan finished and now my bars are all the way up. At one point we were above 70% of total frames of the stream dropped. Okay, no sooner than I said that my stream strength seemed to be doing a little better than OBS disconnected. But it reconnected after 6 attempts like it always does. Yes, I was correct about which of these Pokemon could learn Rock Climb. If I were so inclined to try and make one of them learn it. The repel has worn off, so I'm going to pop over just a few spaces to uh, Cinnabar to avoid that. By the way, the times that people are away from their gym, you can actually, after you've rematched them, you can find them in that spot again and take a picture with them. I haven't been taking pictures in this playthrough, but it can be an amusing thing to do. You find Cameron the photographer all over the freaking place. Alright. Steelix is now level 34. Xatu is level 42. Magneton is almost caught up to Dodrio and Machamp. I cannot remember if I battled the trainers over here or not. I don't think I did. So I will use, if I can find them, another max repel. I'll probably need to buy a couple more of those. Okay, I did not. I'm not going to go through Seafoam Island to get to the other side of the water. There are some trainers over there, but I don't think it's worth the hassle. This Azumarill is 4 levels higher than the one I fought in the other patch of water. Still goes down in one hit. You seem to be having trouble speaking. Are you drowning? Do I need to rescue you? I'm not a terribly strong swimmer, but maybe my Pokemon can help. You know, in real life, I'm not a terribly strong swimmer. I can keep myself alive, but not much more than that. I do want to try and swim, though. It's a good workout. That one I had to battle. This one I didn't have to. I was able to go around her. Yo, Adrian. Good night, Shrimish. Once I'm done with this training, I may see how much damage Steelix can actually do now. Because if we can, like, take out Bronzong in a couple hits, uh, then I would consider, at that point, Will to be fairly easy to defeat if I didn't have to use multiple Pokemon on his first. So it's been getting, you know, attack as it levels up and going over numerous damage rounding thresholds. If you're into all that. It's part of the formula of how Pokemon calculates damage. Your exact level does matter. And At certain levels, it rounds up instead of down. Well, it always rounds down. At those levels, it just happens to not have to round. Alright. Is this the last guy? I'm not sure. Alright, so I'll fly back to the Pokemon League. And I'm going to put the soft sand on Steelix. Obviously, the experience share is important to get it experience if it's not in the battle. But I don't think I can. If I have the soft sand, did I not get the soft sand? I thought I played it on a Saturday at some point. The extra 20% damage from Earthquake would be very nice. But I'm not seeing soft sand in my item list. And I don't know why I would have given it to anything else. Certainly not why I would have given it to anything else and then not removed it from that something else. Berry juice. I left the rock incense on there. Apparently, I never actually played on the Saturday. I thought I thought I'd actually shown myself getting the soft sand on screen. Well, do I have something else that would boost its strength? Being even slower than I already am wouldn't help. A small chance of them missing would not help. Going first with a quick claw actually could be useful if I were able to use Earthquake before it has a chance to use Reflect, but even if it uses Reflect, I can still gauge about how much Earthquake would do without it. Bronzong is not terribly fast, just Steelix is incredibly slow. Let me look at something real quick. I do have the movesets pulled up because I knew that I would want to check at some point during the stream. I always do. Most of my Pokemon are done learning moves by level up, but not all of them. I have Exatu, Magneton, Dodrio, Machamp up there, Steelix. It learns Crunch. It learns Curse next at level 38. It does learn Crunch too, but yeah. Curse I might get rid of Sandstorm for. Boosting its attack and defense at the cost of some speed is incredible for Steelix. Alright, I just want to see how much it does. Now that it's level 35. Reflect cuts it in half. And that looks like it would probably be like 6 turns. Maybe 5. At this level I can survive 2 psychics, but not 3. So I'm still not to the point of... there we go. Okay, so where we're at right now is that Steelix is still not ready to really help with the Elite Four. So I need more levels still. And I still think that Machamp would be more useful with Brick Break over, say, Karate Chop. So I think at this point, my best bet is to, actually play off screen. Not just say I'm going to, but actually do it this time. And get some of that, and get more levels, and maybe even enough battle points for Brick Break. But it does take quite a few. And in the meantime, I have other games that I can stream until I feel like a Pokemon stream would be more productive. I will at least go battle Picnic Regina. I mean, if I at least pipe on tomorrow, I can, if nothing else, battle my rival. And then there's also other things I can do. I can make sure to play on Saturday and get the soft stand. I can try and get more gym leader rematches. Heck, it would be a very exciting final episode of this series if I battled all the gym leaders, but I don't think I'll be doing that. That would take an entire week at least to set up. I don't actually know. Hopnose Leech Seed and Sleep Powder and Bullet Seed. That's not going to do very much. Even though it's neutral, it's a physical grass type move against Steelix. Ivysaur is stronger, but not super strong. Lowered my evasiveness, I'll use Earthquake. Neutral, because it's part poison type. It looks like Steelix is getting more experience just because it's actually battling. I wonder what else this Hoppip knows. I've seen Sleep Powder, I've seen Leech Seed, I've seen Bullet Seed. I wonder if I'll see the fourth move. If I don't wake up soon enough, I might. The Hoppip is getting pretty darn lucky. If this were Gen 1, all the hits would have been critical since the first one was. They get 4 or 5 every time. Yeah, it just looked like I was getting good experience because I was the one actually battling. Tuesday afternoon. Is Alfred afternoon or night? Afternoon. And then the other guy you can battle on Tuesday afternoon. I'm trying to remember, but I should probably just look it up. It might be faster if I can remember how to type. Uh, Trainer rematches. Sarah B's list is pretty good in this case. Picnic or Tiffany is the other one. Both of them only have one Pokemon, so neither of them are super great for experience. But battling Alfred as much as possible is still a good idea because of the absurd amount of money gentlemen give. I often don't EV train my Pokemon until after the radio tower uh, Team Rocket takeover, because once you complete that is when you can call people at their usual times for rematches. And on the way out, you also get the amulet coin, so then you can rebattle him for absurd amounts of money forever. I did not actually remember the deal. Here, have an earthquake at Reiko. For a brief moment right there, I thought I was actually going to take it out. But now Raikou is in red health, so I wanted to try and catch it. I figure I should at least show the trainers that can be rematched right now. She still has a Clefairy. It is level 34. So this is... Well, Serbia is wrong, because it says that uh, her initial Clefairy is level 21 and the next is level 36. So I was just saying that they're, not bad. And then... Uh, but I think it's safe to say that as this is the closest to the level 34, this is probably her second team. The third and fourth battles, while I can't rely on what it says for the level, uh, it would have evolved into Clefable at that point. So we got like 500 experience there. I mean, it was split, but not all that much. Also, when I played just for myself and not for a series, I will try and make sure that I spend time